Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome to UpNorthLive Unsctiped at 6:30. I am Maya Engel, back in our digital studio after taking a week off, and gosh, it feels good to be back. So let's get right into it. Let's bring in our chief meteorologist, Joe Charlevoix. Joe, I missed this. I miss seeing you in a little box right by my
First off, how was your trip? How was your time off?
It was great. I took a week off right around my birthday, went to Mackinac Island, went home for a few days, relaxed in Traverse City for a couple days. So it was a very lovely vacation. But the weather was really interesting because last weekend I had my birthday party out on the beach and it was like 65 and cloudy. But then as the week went on, like Monday, Tuesday, it was beautiful for the most part. And then this past weekend again was a little gross.
Yeah, we had a lot. By the way, happy belated birthday to you.
You too, Joe. You just celebrated
your birthday. We both had our birthdays this week. Yeah, so you're right. Kind of an interesting week. We had rain and, as you mentioned, cool. The story this week, there will not be any rain. We're looking at a dry stretch coming up here, Maya. And while it's cool and comfortable right now, I think a week from now, we might be, hot, humid weather coming in. So we'll have more on that and a little later in the show, and I'll look at when that warm-up starts a few minutes from now.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. And we are going to start off with a story that is one of the top stories here, not just in Northern Michigan, but across the entire country. And that is day one of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Now, this event has changed in just about every single way possible in the last couple weeks. So Vice President Kamala Harris is now the nominee, and President Joe Biden is supporting her. So Christine Frizzau, she is one of our national correspondents. She is in Chicago and has a look at how all of this is coming together.
Tonight, we'll hear from the man we thought this entire convention would be based around, President Joe Biden. And this is historic. He stepped aside to make room for his Vice President Kamala Harris. But he is insisting that tonight is not about looking back, but about what the future of this country can and should be. The stage is set for a convention that just 1 month ago appeared would have a very different feel.
We're seeing now a burst of excitement and energy, but also people who want to work to make sure they win. And I think that is extremely important because the election, of course, is going to be tight.
Instead of running for a second term, President Joe Biden expected to pass the baton to his partner these last 4 years, Vice President Kamala Harris. Tonight's theme, For the People, an echo of Harris's campaign slogan when she ran in the 2020 election, dropping out before the primaries officially began.
She's going to be there tonight and through the week for economic justice, justice for all families in America. And so it's just so fitting that that's the theme that we're kicking off tonight.
President Biden expected to focus on a term that began in the depths of a COVID-stricken country, touting their joint accomplishments, as former President Trump ties them together on vulnerabilities like inflation and the border. Choreographed unity inside the convention center, standing in sharp contrast to demonstrations outside. Protesters continue to demand major changes in policy on Israel's war in Gaza.
Our demands are directly connected to Palestine because the government continues to send tens of billions of dollars to Israel while there is a deterioration in living conditions for people in this country.
After his speech tonight, the president and First Lady Jill Biden will head to California for vacation and perhaps, like most Americans, watch the rest of this convention on TV. In Chicago, I'm Christine Frizzau.
And meanwhile, former President Donald Trump will be in Michigan to campaign tomorrow. He'll speak at a rally in Howell at 3 p.m., and we will have full coverage of that on air and online. But let's turn things over to our question of the day related to, of course, the DNC, and that is, do you plan on watching the Democratic National Convention? A lot of people are saying no. 79% say no, they will not be watching. 21% say yes. If you haven't voted yet, you can scan the QR code on your screen right now and you can vote. And I will take a look at some of the comments that are on our Facebook page. So the first one that comes up is from Cindy. She says, yes, I watched the Republican and plan on watching the Democrats. Tiffany says, nope, definitely not. Watched RNC. It was awesome. Mick says, she has my vote without any more confirmation. Pam says, nope, I watched the RNC. That was awesome. So I'm sitting out of the DNC. Beth says, yes. Gail says, no, didn't watch the RNC. Not watching this show. John says no. Shelley, absolutely not. Pam says it's a shame that this was supposed to be Biden's moment and they stole it from him. And we have about 11 comments on our Facebook post right now. So if you want to join the conversation, you can head over to our Facebook page, Up North Live. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see our poll question with this question, and you can leave a comment there. You can also leave a comment online, and we just got a comment. I just have to acknowledge it's from Maggie. She says, "You can't spell unscripted." I spelled unscripted wrong in the title of this live stream. I'm so sorry about that. It's my first day back from vacation. Give me one little break. I'll do better tomorrow, I promise. I think I was just typing in a hurry. I'll try to fix that in the next commercial break. But we will take a look at our question of the day again a little later. But I want to talk about a story turning things back here to Northern Michigan. This story actually happened over the weekend, but we caught up with a few people involved with it today. And it's a really neat story. So there were 4 wheelchair users who set sail on an adventure to the open waters of Lake Charlevoix. And it was all made possible. Let me show some video of this event. It was all made possible by Mary Freebed, recreational therapist. So the adaptive sailing trip included men with spinal cord.
Trimming your sail.
Really
there we go. What's everybody think?
This is awesome.
Good? So here is what one of the participants said about his experience.
Probably be being out on the water with it quiet and you feel like you're part of nature and winds just pulling you along, and it's surreal. It's something I've never experienced because I've been on boats and my whole life, and we still have boats, but I've never got to experience flying across the water.
And the 4 men say that sailing was a highlight, but for them, the best part of this whole entire experience was the camaraderie they built during the entire weekend. Now, this event was planned by Mary Freebed recreational therapy intern Samantha Mason, and she is joining us live now. So Samantha, thanks so much for joining us on Unscripted. And this is such a great story, a really great thing. So how did this all happen?
Yeah, so I have a passion for sailing. I grew up sailing in Northern Michigan, right there in Charlevoix. Went through the sailing program, eventually became an instructor, partnered with Warrior Sailing on a few of their camps that they have around the country. And when I came to Mary Freebed to start my internship in May, I knew I really wanted to do something big for my project and decided what better than to combine my passion for sailing with my patients there at Mary Freebed.
And is this the first time that Mary Freebed has done something like this?
To this extent, yes. They have a smaller sailing clinic that they run every year in June over here at Reed's Lake in Grand Rapids, but nothing to the extent of bringing 4 guys with spinal cord injuries up north.
And you were there with them during this trip?
Yes, I was one of the coaches.
What was it like?
It was amazing. I've been planning it since May, so 3 months of planning and seeing it all pay off, and 3 days was pretty perfect. I recruited all my coaches to help me along. We were able to pick a bunch of the guys that we wanted to go up there as the participants, and just seeing it finally unfold and all the support and help that I had throughout the weekend was exactly what I was hoping for.
I'm going to show a little more video because you guys sent us a lot of good video from this trip. So can you talk a little more about the 4 men who were on this trip?
Yeah, so they were all paraplegics. They are all wheelchair users, like you had said. They have 2 of them have lower injuries, so closer towards their waist, meaning that they can't use their legs below their waist. And then the other 2 paraplegics have higher injuries, so they're lacking a lot of core stability and strength. So it was kind of cool to see 2 of each of that injury level and seeing them come together and work through those barriers on the boats.
And I'm sure for them, it was probably pretty emotional because like they said, they probably never thought that they'd be able to get on a boat again.
Yeah, so some of the guys had said they've sailed once or twice when they were like 8 years old, but obviously some have had their injuries for 20 plus years, some for just under 10. And they all agreed that getting on a sailboat was never in the picture for them until I came to them with this project.
And how cool is it for you to then get to see them experience this?
It was amazing. could not have been more pleased with how it went.
And do you think this is something that Mary Free Bed will do again in the future?
I really hope so. It was neat to partner with Warrior Sailing, the adaptive program that's up there right now, and I'd love to see something of this sort continue in the future. It's not very often that you see four guys with spinal cord injuries get together and go sailing, and I just love to see it again in the future.
And I know, again, that we mentioned this earlier, but the men say they, of course, loved sailing, but for them, one of the biggest highlights was the camaraderie. What would you say was one of the best highlights for you?
I agree. I loved being on the water and sailing. Obviously, it's been my passion for over 10 years, but coming back at the end of the day, getting everybody back on the dock and back to the clubhouse and just hearing the stories that they were able to share and things that they wanted to change for the future and then what worked really well for them and just that collaboration and short story sharing was huge for me.
And did the four men know each other beforehand?
They had known a little bit of each other just in previous sports that they've done through Mary Free Bed, but nothing to this extent. It was really cool to see them grow over the weekend. We met with them once a couple weeks ago to talk through the details, and that was really the get to know you. This is who you're going up north with to do this crazy adventure. But then again, over the weekend, they all left as friends and are hopefully planning to get together in the future.
That is so cool. So, of course, this video shows that the weather maybe wasn't ideal, looked a little cloudy, a little chilly, but was it good for sailing?
It was beautiful. The forecast when we were heading up on Thursday was stormy and rainy all weekend, and we got 3 full days of sailing, and it could not have been more perfect.
That is so cool. So, anything else that you want to say about this experience?
Um, I think it was just really cool to have all the support around me. You know, the guys were super willing to go up there, and this is obviously something new to us and to them as well. And they were super go with the flow. And then same for my coaches. This was something new to them as well. So seeing us combine our sailing side of things with the spinal cord injury was pretty amazing.
It was very amazing. Well, Samantha, thanks so much for joining us on Unscripted and sharing a little more about this very unique experience. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care. And before we take a break, I'm going to just kind of go back here to our question of the day. Again, that is, do you plan on watching the Democratic National Convention? Day one is today. It is underway right now. And again, we have about 111 comments on our Facebook page. I was going to read more of them, but I just accidentally X'd out of the Facebook page. So maybe we'll read some more after the break. But we are going to take a quick commercial break because I have to change the title of this. It's driving me crazy now that I spelled unscripted wrong. I'm so sorry. Like I said, I will do better the rest of the week, but we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we will check back in with Chief Meteorologist Joe Charlevoix, and you'll have your full forecast for the rest of the week. Stick around. Welcome back, everyone. We are going to bring Joe back in to talk a little more about the forecast for the rest of the week. And Joe, as you mentioned during first weather, today was a little cooler, but still pretty nice, and it's supposed to kind of just go up from here.
Yeah, this is a nice week coming up. You have kind of everything without the rain, which we just got a lot of. So you have nice, comfy weather. We're going to have some warm weather, some pleasant weather, all on the way in here this week. Take a look in Petoskey right now, Maya. Let's go there. And it is a little cool. 67 current temperature. But look at just a few fair weather clouds. Nice afternoon. We've had a beautiful day. Petoskey did get some rain. Christy, our weather watcher who lives there, she sent an email in over the weekend. I think 2.5 inches of rain, something like that, is what she had. Let's look at our three big things in the forecast for northern Michigan. We have a long, dry stretch on the way. So all that rain over the weekend, and we're not going to get a drop now for a week or more at all. So dry, pleasant weather. We have some comfortable nights too. You can turn off the fan and AC, give that a little bit of a break. 40s and 50s at night through Friday. More 40s earlier in the week, more 50s later in the week. And then the heat is going to return. It's going to build next weekend into early next week, with highs getting well into the 80s to near 90, it looks like, by Sunday. So here's all the rain that we did have across northern Michigan. This system will kind of run this through one more time. There's our area of low pressure Friday night into Saturday. Got caught under some of those areas of rain. It really came down, heavy. And now that has moved on to the East Coast. And here's the current look at things. And dry, just a couple evening clouds out there. A lot of rain, though, in the rain gauges for some spots. This was sent in from Old Mission Peninsula. 6.5 inches of rain there in that rain gauge. That's over obviously a half a foot of rainfall that came down. That's north of Traverse City and Grand Traverse County. That's a lot of rain, not a half inch, 6.5 inches. And then this was in South Boardman. Kathleen measured 5 inches, just over 5, in her rain gauge there in South Boardman. So quite a bit of rain. But what's happening now, that low has moved on. There it is near Boston. We are going to see high pressure building in now, and it's going to stay around for a few days. On the front side of that high where we are, we have a north wind. It's been breezy today, that wind coming in directly out of the north. There's a look at the current winds, and that's kept it on the cooler side. Newberry right now only 61. The warm spot, at least in our area right now, Traverse City, the temperature there right now sitting at 70. If you're wondering about what we're looking at for rain, I told you we're really not expecting any sunshine. There's tomorrow morning, afternoon. Beautiful day. You see the arrows, kind of a northerly breeze continuing right through Wednesday morning into Wednesday afternoon, dry. And then we'll head into Thursday. We'll take you out through kind of the rest of the week there. There's Thursday, or sunshine. So you get the drift, the name of the game here. Now, Traverse City, you see there, northern Michigan, a little cool right now, but that system is going to move away. And then watch what happens later in the week. There's Thursday, Friday. See the heat building in here? Right there. So you get this big ridge over the heart of the country, including through the western Great Lakes. And that is that warm to hot weather that will get in late week. If you look at the dew point, that's how muggy it is, how it feels. The past week is in blue. It really dropped off Saturday into Sunday, and the forecast is in yellow. Look at Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're in that dry, comfy stretch with that north wind, low humidity, but then it changes going into the weekend, and we're going to quickly, by the weekend, jump up into the Saturday, Sunday time frame. It's going to get muggy once again. So dry early in the week, and then that humidity returns as we get toward the weekend. There's our extended forecast. It's rare we do not have any rain at all in the forecast over the next 7 days, but that will be the case going forward here. A nice week, highs in the 70s, mid to upper 80s returning for some spots by the weekend, and perhaps close to 90, Maya, by next Monday.
Wow.
So cooler to start, and then a big warm-up as we get into the weekend, but it looks dry. No rain for quite a while coming up here.
So if you like this cooler weather, these next couple days are the days to get out before it gets too hot and muggy.
Yeah, that nice breeze and good sleeping weather at night too.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so much, Joe. We are going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we will check in with our sports director, Harrison Beebe. It is almost high school football season, so he is counting down to kickoff. That's right after the break.
Sports is sponsored by Ebel's General Store.
We are back with our countdown to kickoff, just a week and a half away from games now. The Gaylor Blue Devils made one of the deepest runs in the postseason from our area a year ago, and they're out to show this program is as strong as ever. Blue Devils will definitely look a little different. Strong senior class departing from a year ago. DJ Shimoniak is back for a 4th season with the team. He's enjoying the growth this program has seen in that time, going from a combined 3 wins his first 2 seasons to 11 wins just last year alone. That included a Big North Conference title and a postseason district championship. Now it's time to show the team is capable of those same goals again.
Someone once said, you know, you don't graduate culture. And so that's the thing that we've been able to build here on year 4, is that the culture is that we're going to come out to work every Friday night and do what we got to do and see what the scoreboard says at the end of the day, and hopefully we outwork them. Our numbers have been up in the spring and summer than we had more dudes out here working than we did last year. So the precedence that was set and the legacy that Team 96 left was that, to earn anything, you got to go to work, and that's exactly what these guys have just, picked up that baton and ready to start the race.
Where I live and for my community and who I play for, and a big jersey, a Gaylor jersey is very accomplished. I feel like you can't just get it, you got to work for it, and I feel like we all did, whoever has a jersey.
I think the biggest thing is the trust in the coaches and the trust in the players. When I came in as a freshman, it was a new program and no one really had the buy-in, and now everyone has the buy-in. They all believe in each other, and it's a big family.
Gaylor will travel to Thurlby Field 1 week from Thursday, where they'll play former Gaylor Blue Devil and current TC West head coach James Wagner and the Titans as they begin their season.
Before we go, let's take one last look at our question of the day. Do you plan on watching the Democratic National Convention? 22% say yes, 78% say no. Scan that QR code to vote if you haven't already. And that is going on right now in Chicago. We will have a full recap of day 1 of the convention tonight on UpNorthLive News at 11, so be sure to tune in then. But that'll do it for UpNorthLive Unscripted on this Monday evening. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you right back here tomorrow night. Take care, everyone.